Hiya lads, you alright?
You're right.
Yeah, so I'm really interested because I'm quite a newcomer to Grantham. You know, how did it used to be around here? I mean, I think it's quite nice now, but I have a feeling that it used to be better.
Yeah, it certainly did, Johnny. I first moved here, came to visit Grantham to work in a hotel, but I immediately fell in love with the people of Grantham and the town itself. It was incredibly vibrant, incredibly friendly. Had a fantastic thriving market on a Saturday where literally you couldn't move without bumping into people. Having met a girl and married her, the obvious choice was to actually come back here and bring our family up here.
I certainly remember the market as very, very vibrant, very bustling. You almost couldn't move for people on a Saturday morning down there, and it was fantastic. And we've relocated 3.5 years ago, and the only place I considered coming was Grantham. So, and it's not how I remember it from back then. So I think there's work to do. We shouldn't look to the past and look to recreate it, but what we should do is look at what was good back then, and if that's been lost, then maybe we can get some of that back. I think it's about looking forward. Not trying to recreate the past, but looking forward and seeing what we can achieve.
Yeah. I was wandering around Grantham the other day, and I thought it would be interesting to make a little film about Grantham, how it used to be, and what we can do, and the things that are threatening to make it worse now. And I started looking for footage, and it was really easy to find. I just started noticing all the shops that were closed down even more because I was, looking for them, and I started noticing them, and there was that shopping centre in the middle. That's where I started, and I went in there and I was like, wow, this is really depressing in here. The escalator was not functioning.
Is that the George Centre?
Yeah, that's what it's called.
Yeah,
there was just nothing open in there.
Right.
And it's a beautiful shopping centre. It really is. It could be fantastic. And that's the sad thing about high streets now, and it's certainly relevant.
That's the problem. I have a restaurant just next to the Joe Centre.
But very thriving Nepalese community who serve fantastic food, particularly Raggy's restaurant.
Oh, you have the Nepalese place?
Yeah.
Oh, I've been in there. Yeah.
George Centre, the buffet one.
Yeah, that's me. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
I moved in this great town from last year, and started living from last year with my family, my wife and kids. Literally, as you said, this high street is like so much quiet, all the way high street is a double yellow line, and there's no space at all to park any cars there. So customers, they always ask me, where can I park my car? And I got no clue. There's no parking at all. This is the biggest problem on the high street. That's why all the shops are closing down every day. If you see that, it's so frustrating, And we try to contact the council, at least make a space somewhere we can park 40 minutes or half an hour easily, then customer, they can come and just grab their own items and they can go, but it's not happening in this town. Basically, that's so frustrating, for me, to be honest, as a business owner in the high street, basically.
I mean, it's like people don't seem to understand that. They go on about pollution a lot, but cars bring commerce, cars facilitate town centres. And since the 70s, we've been deindustrialised. They've been killing the town centre since then. And this is going to be the final nail in the coffin if they prevent cars from bringing people from far away to town. Even in London, Wood Green shopping centres will die.
Yeah.
Even there.
Yeah, I think, it's got to be about, trying to improve this for business owners like Raghu. It's not acceptable to let our high street die in that way, and we can all see it. We all know it's happening, and it's for us, and hopefully when we get elected, for us to do something about that. And I think there are things that we can do. So you can put parking incentives in place that allow people to travel into Grantham and allow them to park cheaply or even free for a period of time. Yes, that costs money, but I'm sure once we get into council, we'd be able to find that money from somewhere, and it's just part of the regeneration of the high street that needs to take place, and that needs to be what some of what we need to be doing anyway in terms of supporting businesses.
I think that's very true, actually, and somebody suggested to me recently that maybe it'd be better to have a 3-hour parking allowance whereby people could actually get some business done rather than just having this ridiculous half an hour where you literally haven't got time to have a haircut. So some kind of thing where people can be parking without any penalty for a reasonable amount of time to get their business done. I think that would be a great thing for the town.
Many towns do this, offer 3-hour free parking, and that would undoubtedly attract people in. Clearly, if elected, then that's something we could get involved in, and it needs investment. That's the bottom line. It needs investment. So that's just one fairly simple, quick, straightforward thing that could be done.
There are so many benefits to be had, and so many things that can be exploited to our advantage to make this town really thrive, and maybe bring back some of the old industries, which I remember from 30 odd years ago, where we had a munitions factory called Marco's, we had cabling Barford, we've got a great history of railway engineering in this town. There's so much that really we need to kind of regenerate and replace these old businesses, and give business owners or potential business owners some incentive to actually come here.
This is Grantham is a great town. Yeah, it's just our journey to
so
central
well
London.
positioned.
Yeah. Grantham has 4 international. all the airports nearby here.
Yeah, it's all really close. Yeah.
So many resources, so many things around by here. But how can it possibly so quite a high street? That's the reasons I think.
I agree. You've hit the nail on the head. It is so well positioned, and it should be far more busy, than it actually is. And I think there's also examples, around the country, not too far up the road, Newark, that regenerated really, really well. And it's a lovely little market town. This is, in lots of ways similar. So there's no reason why we can't regenerate Grantham. And actually, because of those transport links and because of the centrality of it, it can't actually be better than Newark. And that's where we need to be aspiring.
Grantham was actually famed for having more pubs per square yard than any other town in the country.
Oh, really?
Another statistic that's forgotten, and literally it was booming. And there's that kind of buzz about the town, which is sadly not quite as prevalent as it used to be.
I think that's probably hit the nail on the head. Yeah. I think there was, when I can remember visiting, 15, 20 years ago, and there was a buzz.
There was.
That's a really good word actually to describe kind of what the town was like, and I think that's probably the bit that's missing.
Yeah.
And
also the friendliness of the people. I always found that was one of the major things when I moved here. How open people were.
That's not gone. That's still around. That's still very much evident.
Yeah.
I think what's lacking is businesses like Ragu's and others, and it's his first business in Grantham. Let's not make it his last. It needs it needs to be a business that thrives as along with every other business, and those empty shop fronts or shops as well need to be full, and there's no reason why that can't be achieved. We've just got to be a bit forward thinking. We've got to be prepared to invest a bit of money into the high street in lots of different ways to encourage people to come into Grantham. I was talking to a friend of mine who lives in Bottisford, which is kind of, if you like, midpoint between Newark and Grantham. And he said, if I'm looking for somewhere to go on a weekend, I could turn right and go to Newark, or turn left and go to Grantham. Sadly, he opts to go to Newark, and we need to change that. We need to make sure that his choice isn't a simple choice of, well, actually, I'm going to Newark. No, actually, I'll go to Grantham this week because it's thriving, it's busy,
and it's got some unique kind of features that possibly Newark hasn't got.
And those are the things we need to change and can be changed.
I think also reducing wastage and spending money on what the consensus of people in Grantham want, rather than sort of blithely going ahead and just spending money on sort of unnecessary vanity projects.
I think we would both agree. We don't have all the solutions, and I think one of the frustrations that I've had recently, and certainly since I've been here, is that I was never contacted by my councillor. I was never given an opportunity to meet my councillor. I was never aware of how to do that. Yes, I know I can go and find out, but I think we need to be more proactive than that. The solutions lie in the people that live here. We don't hold all the solutions.
No, absolutely not.
But the people around us do. And so I think it's vitally important for us to meet regularly with the locals, with local people, ask them what they want, hold regular surgeries, make sure we're contactable, make sure we respond to people when they do contact us, which again I know is a frustration that people have certainly spoken to me about, emailing a counsellor and not getting a response. And that's unacceptable. We're there to serve the people that have elected us, hopefully, and making sure they're aware of what's going on in council. So it's about being the voice of the people. It's about actually representing the people, finding out what they want, trying to action that. We're not going to be able to do everything everyone wants, clearly, but what we can promise is that we will listen to people. We will, put forward their points. We will try and get answers for them, and we will get answers for them, even if it's not the answer they want. But actually making sure they get that answer, and that's the way I operate.
And I think the other thing, Adrian, we've discussed this between all the independent candidates locally. We purposely not actually delivered a manifesto because what we've all agreed upon is it's what our people who vote for us want, and really it's irrelevant to what our views are in many cases, and really we want to implement or attempt to implement whatever the people who vote for us ask us to do. So from that point of view, we want to actually kind of rid local government of party political kind of agendas, really, and we are just normal people who kind of got fed up of complaining and really wanted to put our money where our mouths were and get out there and just try to do what the people want us to do.
I think that's right.
Excellent. That's okay.
Can't say fairer than that.
In this scenario, basically, people have to change their mind as well. How long the same political party is ruling this local government? So basically, when we see there is no exit ahead, then we have to turn right or left. That's the choice. Yeah. So same political parties, they are ruling from so many years and nothing is happening. Then we have to go follow for the alternates.
Yeah,
that's very simple.
I think you have to support local politics. People such as yourselves.
And I think
because
also,
there's no changing it on a macro.
Yeah, I mean the other thing with the political party that's been in control for I'm no party political basher, but I think a lot of people feel slightly disenfranchised in this area and feel it's not really worth voting because the same people, regardless of what they do, will always get into the seats of power. And we're, I suppose, in a sense, trying to give people a good alternative, aren't we? Or a viable alternative.
I think that's pretty much the reason why I'm standing in the first place. I use that word disenfranchised. I consider myself to be politically homeless right now because I don't feel that anybody represents what I actually want. And so if I feel that way, then that's why I'm standing, because then I want to try and get to people around, like Raghu, local business owner, resident, and say what you're not being heard. I wasn't being heard. I'm not being heard. So how can we improve? Well, I've got to put my head above the parapet and say, I'm prepared to do this, and and that's I'm quite passionate about the fact that. That I see that as the way forward, because if we don't listen to people and if we don't do what the people want us to do, then what on earth is the point of us being there? So, and that's certainly the way I've felt about local and national politics more recently, and that's why I'm standing as an independent.
Many of the businesses that we've visited in town and around. Most of them, in fact all of them, have said that in all their time that they've run businesses going back 15 plus years, they've never once had a visit from a councillor, let alone somebody who's actually just putting themselves forward as a candidate. So we've actually done more and actually spoken to more business people in this area, and we haven't even been elected yet. Raggy, you're a case in point, right?
So basically you guys are going to tailor your your work to your local community and what they tell you and the feedback that they give you, instead of being some unreachable, effete, God knows who person who just has no interest in talking to its constituents, and you're going to genuinely represent them. That's brilliant, guys.
Yeah, I just think that that's really what we want to do. We have no political agenda. I mean, I don't really know what Adrian's politics are. I don't know what he really is. And he doesn't know.
It doesn't matter, yeah. Let's just look after each other.
This is a common denominator between all the independent candidates, that we really don't care what people stand for, as long as we're representing what the people want. And that is kind of the most important thing.
And all I'd add to that is, as independents and as a group of independents, because we will work together as independent, but we are independent. So we're not bound by any party orders or any party whip or anything like that, in terms of if on a particular issue, if Johnny votes one way, I'll vote a different way because I don't actually agree with what he says, or what he doesn't agree with. That's fine, because we're independent.
None of the political parties have a wrong principle. Principally, they're all right. You know, they want to have a better community. Yeah? But the thing is, are they really serious to do that or not? That's the main thing. It's like interest and the work.
Or are they involved for other interests?
Exactly.
This is it. Yeah. So, I mean, it's a fairly simple message, but on the other hand, I think it's a sensible message, and if it was a party that I would belong to, it'd probably be called the Sensible Party.
I think that would appeal to quite a lot of people after the craziness of the past few years.
Really.
I mean, the only other thing I would add to that as well is, you're right, I think I've always said the biggest party is the apathy party, because because people don't see that they've got a choice. They see the party political system as broken. They don't feel as if their vote matters. So I guess all that we would say to that is that's another reason why we would say we're standing. We offer an alternative. We are independent. We're not bound by any party political orders. We will do what's right for our communities. And we will do our best to make our communities the best they can be.
So it will be a learning curve, but if you want change, you've got to seek an alternative, which there haven't really been any alternatives in this camp. And you were saying about being disenfranchised. People have actually thought, well, what's the point of me voting, because the same people get in every single time.
So our point is, there is a point now.
There is
fresh blood.
Fresh eyes
are the answer. Absolutely.
Definitely.
We're looking to make a real change.
And if we're no good, you just boot us out after 4 years. It's as simple as that, isn't it?
It is,
I mean, we don't plan on being career politicians, do we?
I don't think
certainly I don't.
It was never a career path of mine that I've chosen, but
we're
here, and we're here because of all the things we've
So it's not a step towards being PM in this case.
Well,
we'll reassure everyone of that.
Well, that's brilliant to hear you're not careerists and you just want to look after the locals. I think that's a great place to wrap it up, fellas. You've actually explained yourselves brilliantly, and good luck in the elections. What date do they come out?
4th of May.
4th of May.
Please vote for us. We really sincerely think you won't regret it.
Yes.
Brilliant. Thanks very much, lads.
Cheers.
Okay, thank you.
Hiya, please like, share and subscribe, and keep your eyes peeled for my upcoming channel of The Director's Gut. Lyme's disease and SIBO are threatening my speech, so I'm writing an evolving health guide and asking for donations in order to fund treatment. The links are below. Cheers!